Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm about to start. We are going off, going on now. So whatever you say is going live.
Oh, my bad. Bobo boom.
We will start with the intro.
Are we starting?
Discover Aqua, Discover Aqua. Welcome to Aqua Ibom, the best place to be. Welcome to Aqua Ibom, the promised land. I discover Aqua Ibom, a peaceful people. So you are welcome to Aqua Ibom. Come on, I'm coming.
Want to go home? I'm from Akwa Ibom. In case you don't know, Akwa Ibom,
Welcome to the new Akwa Ibom State, reliable in superior infrastructure and focused on the Akwa Ibom project. Be part of the winning team. Come, let's build.
Today we are in Akis Industrial Layout.
All right. Well, welcome. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are listening from, wherever you are watching from. This is Network One Radio program brought, brought to you live from United Kingdom. Monbo for the work for the day me, the talk to me about for the so on I join the program. Bok the cake better go time come for put for don't get London. Central London because the cake better go time come for. The cake better Facebook move phone for or computer for work because today is gonna be a very interesting time. You will have a very interesting time in the program today. Don't mind my voice. I've been going through cold during the week, so my voice is a little bit cracking. So just ignore that. Well, today is Sunday, as you know, normal day for Nitokwa Kwabon radio program. The only program that brings for Nitokwa Kwabon together all over the world, and the only program that we can discuss what's happening in the Akwa Ibom state freely without being intimidated or without being controlled or tell what to say or not to say. This is a program Nitokwa Kwabon have the right to call in and ask question, and you deserve to get positive answer. Well, like I said, invite your friends, invite your neighbor, anybody Kwaibo, let them come and join this program today. This program will be broadcast on Kei Kompakara because of the new contract I have now. Even though you don't speak in only Kwaibo, you want other people to know what is going on, and then that's why this program Abandro. I mean, get Etna, and Nintendo was going to produce as I present this program. Pardon me today if I say something different because it's really um, not really okay with my voice, or I'm sorry. Yeah, and today we are having as Mr. Michael James. He has been on the program sometime last year, talk about his job, what he's been doing in Bible since he acquired the office or since he was appointed uh, into Akwa State office, whatever position, as far as you have been appointed by the government, I mean your government official. So he's a essay to Governor Udo Emmanuel on project supervision. Today, he'll be talking about the project in realization in Akwa Ibom State because I mean, Tegemi, the origami industry, back at Akwa Ibom, whether they are working, because I had a guest some last week or so, he was saying that a lot of industries, back at Akwa Ibom, that Ibaga, that is not there, that is all lie, it's all scam. Well, I don't know. He said he's a essay to governor on project supervision. So he's going to tell us. Today we're going to hear. Now, I'm going to welcome Mr. Micheal James, all the way from Akwa Ibom, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Mr. Micheal, welcome on the program.
All right, thank you so much. I'm very much delighted and to be in this program today. Thank you so much for bringing me once again back to this program. I've been actually watching you guys. You guys are a doing a great work here. Being like a 1 year plus, and you've been keeping this program on and running. Thank you so much for bringing me. And Akwa Ibomites, I want to say good evening, Nigeria, good evening, and the world at large, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the program once again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir, for coming on the program, and thank you for at least at the organ that Kiwi been around for over a year now. I'm really glad and happy about that. Thank you so much, sir. Now, you are essay to governor on project. Let me from start. Let me start by asking you: is there anything like project in Akwa Ibom State?
What did you say? Come again.
I want to ask you: is there anything like a project in Akwa Ibom? Because you say you are supervising, but you must know what you are supervising. Maybe if there's no project, so what are you supervising? If there's a project, that means you are supervising. So I'm asking you: is there anything like project or that project that you are supervising? Is there anything going on in Akwa Ibom State?
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. Is it? I want to tell you that, and I want to tell Akwa Ibomite and Nigeria, the world at large, that right here in Akwa Ibom State, a whole lot of things are happening here in Akwa Ibom State. His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, when sworn into office, hit the ground running, and His Excellency, the Governor, actually promised. I'm going to talk most at times based on the 5-point agenda of His Excellency, the Governor.
No, we are
He
coming to
promised
that.
Akwa Ibom people.
Because I think that you're going to about His Excellency proposal regarding next year when it comes into the office. So now I'm asking the present one now: is there any project in Akwa Ibom State?
Any project that's scattered, okay, project that's scattered all over Akwa Ibom State.
Okay.
Project that's scattered all over Akwa Ibom State. We have a 3 senatorial district in Akwa Ibom State. So I want to tell you that from the road infrastructure, industrialization, poverty alleviation, everything His Excellency the Governor promised Akwa Ibomite. It's scattered all over the 3 senatorial districts in Akwa Ibom State.
Okay. I mean, we the popular one is this pencil factory, and toothpick.
Come again.
The popular one I heard that is a pencil. They said there's a pencil industry, or is it factory, and toothpick as well. But they said they just said this in the pencil in the toothpick, that there's nothing like that in Akwa Ibom State. That is all scam. It's all fake. Is it true?
That's not true, my sister. I wouldn't know if I may start this way answering your question. Is it you at some point you're trying to do good and you're trying to do that which God actually sent you to do in Akwa Ibom State, like His Excellency the Governor has always done. And then in the same vein, you're having mischieved people sitting by the roadside, people sitting by their beer parlors, and then trying to condemn what His Excellency the Governor has been doing. I want to tell you that pencil and toothpick industry is real. Immediately His Excellency came into office, he actually came up with Akis. Akis actually, and then Akis produced, came up with toothpick and pencil industry. And then that particular factory has been up running for about 2 years plus now. And if you could want to get back memory lane, you understand that even the Nigerian government said that they will start producing in 2020. A government in Nigeria called Akwa Ibom State that actually started in 2016 to produce pencil and toothpick. And if you also happen to understand that toothpick as is being imported, has been imported before now from overseas to Akwa Ibom State. And then when His Excellency came to power, he said, no, those little things has to be manufactured here in Akwa Ibom State. And he came up with that and then got the equipment. And then today, toothpick and pencil industry is real. I actually went over there. I've been supervising the place over time, even before he came to, before, His Excellency commissioned it. And then after when His Excellency commissioned the place, a lot of people have been saying it's a scam. And then like, I think some weeks or months ago, I actually also went back there to see what they have been doing. And then it all started with toothpick and pencil, but now you have plastic. You have blocks, and then you also have a zinc factory inside of it. So I can tell you from a point of view and a point of truth that pencil and toothpick industry is real.
Yeah, but they said it's real, but they import them from China. It's not from, you don't in America quite.
Come again.
They said that, yeah, there's the toothpick, there's a pencil, but they import them from China. You don't want in that market though.
Anyway, that's not true. When once things like that come up and you want to get into, how do I call it, the public market or whatever, you will want to start with what the people know to graduate from there. Actually, most of those slips that were brought in for the pencil, those slips were still being China or whatever, and they are being produced. Those pencils are being produced as we are talking now in Akwa Ibom State. There is nothing like they are being imported from China. There's nothing like you're being imported from China or the toothpick or whatever. They are being produced as we are talking to you right now in Akwa Ibom State.
Okay. So
At some point, if I also want to tip in there, at some point, people will always people will always come up with one excuse or the other. People, no matter what you do, people will still want to find faults from what you are doing in one thing or the other. But as we are talking, those pencil, I think the video if you could want to if you would want to play the video out for the people to see, those pencils are being manufactured here in Akwa Ibom State.
yeah, because I got those videos, and I'm gonna be playing them soon. Because I wanted you to tell us first before the video comes in, whether there's anything like that. Yeah.
Come
Now,
again.
I said I saw I've seen the video, but I wanted you to explain to us first that if you, as the SAT governor on project supervision, you are aware of those things, but because they said yes, there is pencil, yes, there is toothpick, but they import them from China. So now you're telling us now, no, they not import them from China, they manufacture them in Akwa Ibom State. Okay, before we go into the video, I want to ask you one question. How many projects have you supervised so far?
How many projects have I supervised?
Yes, since His Excellency appointed you as his SA on project supervision.
Okay, good enough. Thank you for that question. I have, like I told you the other time when I came on the program. I am not the only essay to the governor on project monitoring or project supervision. You know, we'll have a whole lot of aids to the governor, you know, on project supervision. And then at some point we are being divided into teams. And then I can still remember the last time I came on the program, I told you that I am in team 4. And then in team 4, we've been able to supervise a whole lot of infrastructure, you know, which has been put in place by His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. That is one of the things he actually promised Akwa Ibom people of good infrastructure. And then we have been doing that. And then I have in my own team, most times I also go out of my way personally to also supervise this job. I think more or less I've been able to supervise up to 30 and above you know, projects being put in place by His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. I'm talking about in both in road infrastructure and in industrialization, or industry, sorry.
Okay. And it's very funny.
Or do you want me to run down? Do you want a rundown of those projects, those road projects, or
Don't we am coming to
we
that.
still have to hold on a
Don't
little bit
be in
for
a
it?
rush. I am coming to that because you need to
Okay.
tell us, because you're the you are the essay to the governor on project supervision. So you're gonna tell us how many, how, whether they're working and they're not working, but they're just been there, or you're gonna tell us. But I just want to quickly pick this one. Somebody sent me a text here, says, because they have been accusing me that when I send it, I don't read their question or their concern. Somebody, Blessing Udo, said that there is trending news on social media that the rice industry is a scam. Please help tell us the truth. It will write this
Is it the rice
industry
industry is
scam.
a scam?
Yes, say it's a scam. Because there's nothing like that.
Okay. If a quick one, if I could want to come in there, I want to put it here in practically that this particular administration does not advertise and does not say anything he has not put in place. That is why when I was being appointed by His Excellency the Governor, and I came up with Project Tracker. Project Tracker, simply tracking down every single project, programs, and achievement of the present administration of Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel. Aside from the government, you know, the governor actually promised industrialization. And aside from the governor or the government saying that they've been able to do this or that, those projects are real. His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, inaugurated commission a rice meal processing plant yesterday. And to some people, they said it's a scam. A rice meal processing plant simply means that rice can be taken from anywhere in the state, and it can also be taken from anywhere in the country, and at some point will be processed in that plant for usage. It's just like now, if I could want to explain it further, Nigeria has a crude oil, and those crude oils are not being processed in Nigeria. They are being sent out and then processed outside and sent into Nigeria to be produced. So when people say that the rice meal processing plant, His Excellency just commissioned yesterday, is a scam, and you listen to them talk, and then at some point you think if these people really know what they are saying. Before now, we never had it this good. When His Excellency came on board, these are the things he promised Akwa Ibom people. And don't also forget that there's a rice farm, there's a rice plantation farm in Ini, where the meal processing plant is situated. And there's another rice farm across the states. So by the time these rice are being harvested, that is to say that these rice are going to be processed in a local government area. The processing plant is in a local government area. That is the first. That is the first. That is the first one. Maybe by tomorrow or next, His Excellency may want to bring it up in the three senatorial districts in Uyo and Eket Senatorial District. Right now, you have the new process plant in the local government. It is not a scam. This is what His Excellency the Governor promised Akwa Ibom people, and then he has fulfilled. He has fulfilled them. And then also, don't you forget that in that rice meal processing plant, you have Akwa Ibom people working there. Not less than 200 Akwa Ibomites are working there. So I wonder what they want His Excellency the Governor to do. I wonder what they are even thinking of. So I can tell you from the point of truth that His Excellency the Governor commissioned the the process. The people who were there, they saw it, for themselves. And then how can you see a real thing and see a raw material of a rice being brought into the plant and then processed, and then you have a real rice, brought out of the stuff, and then you are still saying that it's fake, it's a scam.
You said.
So I don't think they are from a sincere point of view.
You said Excellency commissioned the rice factory yesterday.
Come again. What did you say?
You said His Excellency commissioned the rice factory yesterday.
Yeah.
Were you there with him? Did you see it with your two eyes?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, that means you are telling us now, we that were not there, that this rice is not, this factory is not scam. There's the real rice factory in the local government.
My sister, to start with, I cannot come here, sit down here, and then tell you what is not obtainable.
Of course you can't.
Or tell you what is not obtainable.
Of course you won't.
No. But let me just say this. Where I'm sitting down now, most times, if maybe you happen to go to the court, they will give you a Bible. It says, swear that whatever thing you're going to say here,
I think I should start doing that though.
No, I'm telling you. So even before in fact, I really needed to say that before you even mentioned it. That as I am sitting down here, everything that is going to come out of my mouth will be the truth and nothing but the truth. And my boss is a man of truth, and is a man who fears God, and is also a man after God's heart. So if I could have someone like the Kingdom Gabriel Emmanuel as my boss, I think I wouldn't do less. I wouldn't do less. I can't come down here. I can't sit down here and tell you what is not obtainable. No, I'm not taught that way. It's not obtainable in any way.
Okay, now you just mentioned rice industry or rice factory, and pencil and toothpick. Is that the only factory that is in Akwa Ibom State at the moment?
No, that is not the only factory we have in Akwa Ibom State. But sister, but let me, if I could want to take you down memory lane, you could understand that Akwa Ibom State before now has been a civil service state. It has been a state only, dwell with civil servants and a few Igbo people that could come in to do one or two businesses. And then when His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, came on board in 2015, like I said, industrialization was part of his 5-point agenda. And he said, he practically told Akwa Ibom people that he's going to industrialize the states. I mean, don't also forget that this is a man that has worked has been in the banking sector for over time. And this is a man, that his email means a lot to people outside there. And this is a man that a drop of his email will bring investors right into Akwa Ibom State. So he promised us industrialization, and he promised us industrialization, yeah, and all those stuff. Then when he came on board in 2015, like I said, His Excellency promised us industrialization, and that industrialization, we can happen to understand that the first industries that came on board, or factory that came on board, was the toothpick and pencil industry. And thereafter, we had the syringe manufacturing factory industry came on board in Ona. And thereafter, we have the electric digital meter also in Ona came on board. And then don't also forget, we have a flour mill. That is the same that is another industry that has been brought in by His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. And as we are talking, a coconut plantation refinery is uploading. And now we have a fertilizer blending factory that has already become.
Hello. You cut off, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, wave your hand. Just talking, but I can't hear him. Can we play music while we see, waiting for him to get back to us? I can't get to hear.
Baba God, now you be the boss, yeah. I throw a salute to thank you for the beautiful things where you do for us here in Akwa Ibom. Mata ufoko ni ufaiti rongone kunehita kisuneta marara. Etukini yesem kiko makara. The Lord is good, very very handsome. Mama kono purewo. MMU for the you know, Ayakat Nang Bongana Banyan to woman a fanyin etamam kwasa. Etena Murago, I come here to go to Etena Murago. Let peace and unity, prosperity be in Akwa Ibom. Abasibom yo Akwa Ibom. Yak Popo Frewo. Yang you never came mo. Yak Frewo ni Sebia. May Amuraya make a ruro. Eterion Rodom, you know. Yagi top kemeno, yang papa no frewo, yagi no ba kememo, bebe mero karanyino, that's you know we all want to go as we wake up every morning, step out of our houses for the journey. Better go they follow us, them wuru people no go see us, we lie. We go count our blessings, one by one, we go sing a song, yeah, 2 by 2, we go make a dance, yeah, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 5 by 5, 6 by 6, If the Lord be for us, tell me who can be against us, yeah. This is the promised land. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. Every tongue that rise against us, we condemn. Akwa Ibom is song a man, you know. Akwa Ibom is song a man, you know. Basibom yo pango. Yak popo no frewo. Yak ino you never came mo. Yak frewo ni sebia. Ayamuru kuduro Eterio ngo domino Beme mero karanyino Toy kanyino Iko wanti koyen para bongo Ipai san kemeno San kemeno Iyagi san kemeno Afrewe san kemeno Beme mero karanyino Beme me pastos nilo Iyang bobo na frewo Iyang irungo pa na frewo Iyang upororo kironyino Iyang irungo ba kememo De frewe san kemeno Iyang yini jok kemeno Yang kwani soyen soyen Eme buporo erwek nyen kori Argori edonyen argori eslu Fangino wafrewe san kemene Progress.
Wow. While we're still waiting for our guests to come back, I believe it's a normal thing. Up NEPA, never must have taken lights. That's why when it comes to that, there's nothing you can do. You just have to wait. So you'll be waiting for him to come back. Let the NEPA, everybody know we can, then he will come back. While we're waiting, I don't know, I don't think, is it back now? It's not yet back. Okay. He sent me some videos about the projects and how the ones he supervised and all that. So if you can play that videos, please, so that we can see what he's talking about, what he was talking about. So when he comes back, be able to ask him.
Layout where you have where is housing the pencil factory. You know, you have here the paper factory, the plastic factory, the toothpick factory, and also have the block and the zinc factory inside of it. Right now, we're going to take you down from the showroom to the factory, and then so I could just want you people to stay on with me and then follow me as we go into the showroom. Now, inside the showroom of Akis Industries Limited. Now, the Akis Industry is located in the Akis Mini Industrial Park here in Afai Town. You can see the industrial park. This is the showroom, and that's the production area. Now, the Akis Industrial Park houses the toothpick factory, the pencil factory, the hydrophone block factory, the woodwork factory, and the plastic factory. Don Emmanuel was made the governor, I mean, from when he was made the secretary of the state government and later on the governor. What I do normally, I now went to on the internet and I now look at his profile. By the time I run down through his profile, I say, wow, we have this kind of person from Akwa State. So if such person at that level, Udom Emmanuel is a boardroom group. For somebody to sit on the board of about 17 international companies, then we should give credit to such people. Come to Akwa State. Some people tell me, just like what you said, people say, this industry, they are all scam. And I told them, okay, the past regime that I just left, we promised 31 industries, one in each of the local governments.
You are the one saying it.
Yes. That we will have an industry in each of the local governments.
Okay.
Now, and I learned, money was voted for that purpose.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, not the match company that produces matches, not even one. But now, Udom Emmanuel came with his promise that he's going to industrialize the state, changing our state from the normal civil service state to an industrialized one, where we can be comparable to Lagos and Kano and Ogun State. And he's doing it. Now, the pencil factory people say is a scam. You are here, you can see. It's not a scam. You go to Abuja, you see our pencil.
What's your name first?
Yes, my name is Anthony Aniefio Akwa.
Okay. And then where are you from?
I am from SUPERVISION local government,
Really?
Ward 1.
Working here in Aki's
Yes,
Industrial
I am the Facility Safety and Quality Control Manager of Aki's Industry here in Akwa Ibom State.
Okay.
In as much as people have their mouths to talk, Akwa Ibom State is an industrialized park.
Okay.
Aki's is here to stay, and His Excellency is actually working greatly. Like I said initially, I'm going to Port Harcourt. A woman, Mrs. Amos, she was a former chairman of contractors to NDDC. Okay. She said she do import this product from China at 2,000 naira for a pack of 100. But do you know how much we sell here? No. At 400 naira. I was with Mr. Shegun of Pack and Shop. He said, how much do you think we can sell this product? I said, we are ready to give it to you at 400 naira.
And are you sure you guys make profit with that?
Of course.
You have is a paint.
Like these are flagship products.
Okay.
The paint 20-liter paint bucket.
Oh wow.
Made in Akwa Ibom.
Virgin material.
This has passed the SON test because they took them to their lab in Enugu and they did all the first work to pass the test. And we produced for pickup. Now pickup, the chairman of the board of pickup paints has given an express instruction. Nobody buys buckets from a bar or anywhere. So now pickup, I will take you to where you see the bucket to produce for them. They're taking about 559. They're coming to pick the remaining one to place order for. The place order for 1,200. So, and the good thing is that all the local manufacturers in Akwa Ibom say they've not seen this kind of paint bucket.
This is
because if you see the ones you have in the market, they are from third grade material. But this one is prime material.
people of Akwa Ibom State. We are here in Aki's industrial layout, and I would earlier talk about this product being produced here in Akwa Ibom State. And we have a whole lot of people doubting Thomases. Most of them are not from Akwa Ibom State. Most of them, like minor percentage of them are from Akwa Ibom.
Our guest back. Let me see. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, you with me? You were not with me before. You said you're with me now.
Yeah. I think network just went bad, so that was just the problem. Network.
Oh, network. Anyway, we used to that. Anyway, before when you were off or network went bad, we were watching one of the video. I forget how I can inspect some things there, and okay, some people are just already in the comment. People were sending.
Come again. I can't hear you.
I said before you went, network went off. While people were watching the video you sent, where you go to visit some factory, you know, the pencil and the plastic factory as well. You know, that's what people were, you know, I was asking a question, you were trying to explain. So do you want to continue from there, or you want me to move on and ask you another question that I've got here?
No, let me continue from where I stopped.
Okay.
Before network went bad.
All right.
Okay, you know, you were asking me about how many industries are in Akwa Ibom State, how many are working and how many are dormant.
Yes.
Then I actually told you that one of the key points of His Excellency the Governor, cardinal point of His Excellency the Governor, was to industrialize Akwa Ibom State. That before now, Akwa Ibom State has been known, to be a civil service state. So when His Excellency came on board in 2015, he actually promised us industrialization, and that he did by fulfilling, those promises he made to Akwa Ibomite. Like I told you, the first industry that came up was, the Aki's toothpick pencil, pencil and toothpick, that today has gave birth to the plastic factory and blocks factory and a zinc factory. Paper factory is warming up. And then the second one that actually came up was the Serene company, manufacturing company. That is a company, a factory that produce syringes. You know, before now, syringes has been imported down to Nigeria and to Nigeria and Akwa Ibom State. And when His Excellency came on board, he had to evaluate and then look at most of these things and knew that, oh, if he could bring syringes into Akwa Ibom State, if syringes could be produced here in Akwa Ibom State, it could make, you know, he could bring employment. It could put unemployment to a standstill in Akwa Ibom State. And then in those areas that these syringe companies are being situated, the landlords of those areas are going to make more money. You know, the people selling provisions, selling things in those areas are going to make money. So he brought syringe company into Akwa Ibom State, situated in Ona. And I want to tell you that this is the largest syringe manufacturing company in Africa, you know, that produce 400 million syringes annually, you know, and you could believe the kind of income and the kind of prosperity that could bring into Akwa Ibom State. So away from Shirin's company, we also have the metering, the electric digital meter, a solution manufacturing meter in Akwa Ibom State. Also, is situated in Ona local government area. And then I have it in good authority that this metering company produce most of the meters, electric meters that are used in Akwa Ibom State, and then southwest, you know, of Nigeria, you know. And the other day I went into the factory to supervise and then to see what they are doing, and I was amazed when I saw that those being employed in that factory are Akwa Ibomites, and then most of them never had good life before now. Most of them were on the street, roaming the streets, never had anything to do. But excuse me, but when the metering solution company came on board, and when it was advertised, most of them applied for it, and then they were taken. They were sent out for training, and they came out, and they are doing well in the company. They are doing well, and then they are also being paid well. So you have an electric digital metering solution manufacturing factory in Akwa Ibom State, employing nothing less than 120 Akwa Ibomites, more than 120 Akwa Ibomites in that factory. And then also don't forget that we have flour mill. His Excellency also, like I said, he promised industrialization. So these things I'm mentioning, things that is industries that he actually brought into Akwa Ibom State. Flour mill, as I'm talking to you now, will be commissioned in no distant time by His Excellency the Governor. And we have the coconut plantation stroke refinery. You know, steel will be commissioned in no distant time. You know, and then like we've already mentioned the pencil. I've already mentioned the pencil and toothpick factory. We have the fertilizer plant blending factory. And this fertilizer blending factory, right now, as I'm talking to you right now in Akwa Ibom State, fertilizers are not being imported into Akwa Ibom State anymore. The fertilizers you have here, the farmers use here in Akwa Ibom State, is being blended in Akwa Ibom State. You know, those things is being done here in Akwa Ibom State. And then you saw in the video, if you carefully watch the video, you saw in the video plastic manufacturing factory. These are factories that are also brought in by His Excellency the Governor. As I'm talking to you, if you also watch the video to the end, before now, immediately His Excellency came on board. One of the cardinal things he did, one of the first things he did was to go and then revamp the pickup paint industry. Pickup paint industry has not been working for a very long time now. So when His Excellency came on board, that was one of the first industries that was revamped in Akwa Ibom State. And then a lot of people have also been saying that pickup paint is a scam. Pickup paint is a scam. And you know that you can't find it anywhere in Akwa Ibom State. You can't find it anywhere in Uyo. But as I'm talking to you now, Pickup Paint is producing, and His Excellency just his campaign office, as I'm talking to you now, His Excellency campaign office was being Pickup Paint was used to paint that particular building as I'm talking to you now. And if you go, yeah, and if you go to my timeline project tracker, you will see those Pickup Paints real used by the laborers who painted that building. So right now in Akwa Ibom State, those plastics are not being imported anymore into Akwa Ibom State by the Pickup Paint. It's being produced right here in Akwa Ibom State. Those plastics are being produced right here in Akwa Ibom State. And when we went to the factory and interviewed the manager, and they actually let me know that the rubber has passed a SON test. That right now that rubber is the latest rubber right now in Nigeria. You can see, if you should go through the video, you can see the production is very sharp. And then even if you filled that particular drum with water or plastic with paint rubber with water, and then allow it to drop on the floor, it can never break. That is as extent as what is being produced in Akwa Ibom State. So away from the plastic factory, we also have the Ibom Industrial Park jetty that is also loading in Ikorabasi. That will be situated in Ikorabasi. In no least a distant time, His Excellency the Governor will also commission that. And then the rice processing mill that plant that has just been commissioned yesterday by His Excellency the Governor. Don't also forget that we also will have a paper factory industry in Akwa Ibom State. All these things I'm telling you, I'm not telling you, it's not a fairy tale. These are things that in no distant time from now, His Excellency the Governor will commission it. Most of them that I'm telling you, when I'm telling you, I'll let you know that those one, like the paper factory is loading, distant time will be commissioned. Ibom deep sea ports in no distant time will come in existence. And then don't also forget that we'll have the plywood manufacturing factory. The plywood, as I'm talking to you, still in no distant time will be commissioned by His Excellency. The outlay and the how do I put it? The building, everything is the work is ongoing as I'm talking to you now. So those are the factory, those are the industries that we have working now in Akwa Ibom State.
Okay, hold on. I think the call just coming. I was not even ready. Hello.
Are you with me?
Yeah. I think the call just coming now. Let me see. Okay. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Why not? You
Micheal, I'm
can
calling
ask.
from Okay, Mr. Michael, how are you doing?
I'm fine, sir.
Hello?
Please speak out. I can't hear you. Speak out a little bit.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Mr. Michael can hear you. Can you speak up, please?
Okay, I'm Micheal and I'm calling from South Africa. Please, there is this
Okay.
news going around
You're
social
calling from where?
media
South
about the
Africa.
rice processing. Yeah, I'm calling
Okay.
from South Africa. There's a news going around social media concerning the rice processing mill that was commissioned yesterday by His Excellency Mr. Dom Emmanuel. The APC
The rest me, right?
propagandists are saying that there's a map that is written Adamawa State. So in other words, it means that the rice that we saw at the rice processing plant came from Adamawa State. Please, can you put more clarification on this? Because I myself am confused because I thought the whole rice was processed at the factory, but unfortunately, currently, I was surprised to see a map reaching Adamawa State. Can you please put more light on
All
the
right,
issue of
all
grass
right.
so that
Thank you, my brother.
even
I
citizens
really
themselves
get
would
your question.
understand? Thank you.
Okay, okay. Thank you, my brother. I really got your question. You see, you just mentioned a name of a political party, and you see, I wouldn't want to join issues with them or maybe call the political party, because where I am now, if I should begin to call any other brand, away from my brand, I will be promoting that brand. But if I could have a name for them, like I always call them, the Broom community. Just a small community. These people are being known for propaganda. They are propagandists. They can never find anything good from what you are doing. Don't also forget that if you had it some good years back, that this same Broom community people actually promised us 1 naira per dollar. And today, how much is a dollar to a naira? And they also promised us a fuel to be 65 naira or 45 naira per liter. What are you having now in Akwa Ibom State? You have fuel. We are buying fuel as we are talking, 145 naira a liter. Now, if any other party comes up with good things, good innovations, what these people does is to find a way to bring such thing down. But I trust my boss, His Excellency the Governor, who doesn't listen to most of these things. He's a focused governor. My brother, let me share more light to your question. His Excellency actually promised the people of Akwa Ibom State of industrialization. Most of these things you never find it in Akwa Ibom State. Like you had it in that video, that in the previous administration, they actually promised 31 industries, one pay each local government, and you never find it till the end of that administration. But this is one governor that would never say a thing that he would never want to do. Some people actually in Akwa Ibom State describe His Excellency the Governor as a talk and do governor, because anything he says, he must bring it to bear. What His Excellency commissioned yesterday is a rice meal processing plant. It's a processing plant. That means that right now as I'm talking to you, rice has been cultivated in Akwa Ibom State, has been planted in Akwa Ibom State, sorry. And His Excellency, that rice, in the local government is very known for, a good place to plant rice. So that is why His Excellency had to cite the processing plant in the local government area. That means that the raw material Akwa Ibom State and to be processed in that plant. That's just what His Excellency did yesterday, commissioned yesterday. And we have those rice also being planted in the local government area. So by the time those rice are being cultivated, they will be processed in that mill. They will be processed in that mill, meal processing plant. So what these people are doing is that they just have to, for them to try to market their products, or let the people know that their product is genuine, or their product is this. I will want to ask you a question too, for them to ask them emphatically, what has your product done ever since we have it in a good authority that their product has been working in Akwa Ibom State. He was in charge of Apico, and he was also once in charge of he was also once in charge of a power plant. And then he was also once the deputy governor of Akwa Ibom State. What are those things? What are the track records? What are those things he did for Akwa Ibomite? Nothing. Now you have a governor, you have a God-fearing governor that will say one thing and will bring that particular one thing to bear, and they are looking for a way to sabotage the image of the governor or what he has done. My brother, what you had there, what you had His Excellency commissioned yesterday is real. And I'm telling you right now in good authority that this December, the rice that will be thrown everywhere in Akwa Ibom State will be the rice that is being processed and is being produced from that processing plant in Akwa Ibom State.
How do you say in the His Excellency is a promise and do governor. And if I may ask you, all this project you are talking about now, are you saying that is what His Excellency achieved within these 2 or 3 years in the office? Or is it a project that he complete, or the one he talking by himself?
Come again, he said if there's any project he has completed
No,
or
no,
the
no,
ones
no, no. I
that
said
you're
this
talking
project
again.
you are talking about, he is called carry commission, keep on commissioning. Those projects? I don't establish from himself as a nedi, and I'm a eboma, and I'm a work. Or what do maybe the previous governor can man your commission? Because I also
Thank you
had
very much for that question.
information like that. They said that all these project, all these industry, whatever factory was laid by former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Adogo, Senator Akpabio. That this present governor just come in and do a little touch and then commission it. There's some of them that have not even commissioned. There's nothing, just like the caller said. So they say this one is real, this is not real. And then when they want to go to media, they just pack people to go and stay there, and then they will take 2 or 3 camera people to go then pim pim pim, and they say, oh, this thing is working, this factory is going, shredding is working, toothpaste is working, pencil is working. So I'm asking you, because as a project supervisor, that is it the project that His Excellency Yanam Kidememo or made the Wonke
Thank you
commission?
so much. If I should, yeah, go deeply to answer that your question. You see, like I told you before now, Akwa Ibom State has been civil service state. And then His Excellency Abong Victor came to bear and did his own part. And then His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio came in and also did his own part. And then I also want to believe that His Excellency Godswill Akpabio, try his best for Akwa Ibomite and Akwa Ibom. And then I think if I should want to say it, we've never had some tall rising, buildings, in Akwa Ibom State until he came to power. He came to bear. He was elected as a governor of Akwa Ibom State, and some people may want to call those projects as a monument or whatever, But be as it may, those are projects that he actually brought in. And then His Excellency Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel, when he came to power in 2015, like I told you, he hit the ground running with industrialization. All those industries that I am mentioning to you now are industries that are being brought in by His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, presently. Presently. None of those industries did he inherit from any past administration. These are industries
Even
that
the
he brought
syringe
in,
company as well,
by
factory.
yeah, I'm telling you, those are the Shirin company, the Shirin factory, the metering, the rice, the flour, all those industries I am mentioning to you are industries that are being brought in by His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. And like I told you, from the point of truth, Akwa Ibomites, the youth of Akwa Ibom State are the ones working in those industries. As I'm talking to you now, they are working in those industries. Like a little one, like the toothpick and pencil industries. If you could allow video to run, you could also understand that you could also have interviews. I think I actually interviewed some workers, 1 or 2, 3 workers there, and
Yeah, as
you
soon as
had
you
their
finish
own
this one, you're
views,
gonna
and
run
they
the
were
video
happy.
again so that we can go through it. People can see. Then we know whether what you're saying, what you are telling us, whether it is real, or we should believe that all these industries are all scam. So when you finish.
It's okay. Like I told you from a good authority that you see those industries are not scam. Those industries are real. You see what you have from a few folks in the Bloom community. They are trying to make caricature of what His Excellency is doing. So His Excellency the Governor is very focused. He's a pragmatic man. He's a very focused gentleman. And then he's one man that wouldn't want to share his glory with anybody. You know, he allows God alone to take his glory because you see most times God will actually pass through someone to do something. And then at this point in time, the only person that can salvage the people of Akwa Ibom State is the Udom Gabriel Emmanuel. And then having saved Akwa Ibom State and having a lot of people here describe him to be a talk and do governor. And the people of Akwa Ibom State are actually saying, His Excellency, if you could do this in just 3.5 years. Are you saying something?
Yeah, I think we have a caller coming in. Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Silito Ibodosin calling from South Africa.
Okay.
Okay,
He should
Mr.
speak up. I
Michael,
can't hear him.
thanks for the clarification. At the
Okay.
same time, I just simply want to ask about the companies that His Excellency promised the people of Akwa Ibom State. Now, most of the companies that are cited in the state are being termed as a private company. I want to know when the His Excellency was talking about the issue of industrialization or turning Akwa Ibom State from a civil service state to an industrial hub. The companies that are being cited in the state, is it owned by the government or is it a public-private partnership? Or what is the shares? And can you put more light on the shares of Akwa Ibom State in most of these private companies that investors are currently establishing in the state? Because I have a case study that I did in Ghana that like the Ghana gold mining, Ghana is currently having only 3%. It's the same case in Akwa Ibom State that most of these investors are coming to the state with the help of the state government. Money is being doled into the project, and at the end of the day, what is the stake? What is the share of the government? What is the share government is having, and what is the benefit of Akwa Ibom people in most of these investments? Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Um, Mr. Michael, did you hear him?
Yeah, can you repeat what he said? I didn't really get him well.
He's asking that all this company or factory or industries at Baramike Kwaibum, is it owned by the government or or is it privatized or is for the government? I think if I'm correct, I think that's what he said. If I'm not correct, pardon me. And then you also talk about, because his voice was very faint, I couldn't really hear him correctly. Another one I could hear him said was about shares. So you those shares acquire many from those companies if it maybe other private companies or private people owns it.
Okay, fine. If I could really get what you said, is it, you could also know that when the government talks about industrialization, not all the industries could be really owned by the state government. Most of them are private partnership initiative, you know, which government would actually provide an enabling environment, infrastructure, and then most of the times, you know, come up with the buildings. And then what the investors does is to come up with their, you know, with their equipments and then with their facilities and then start up the industry in Akwa Ibom State, you know. And like if at this point in time, you know, government cannot want to go into, you know, most times fully maybe coming up with industries, you know, but most of those industries a private partnership initiative. And the good thing is that it is situated in Akwa Ibom State, and then the workload, I mean the manpowership, is being taken from Akwa Ibomites. And then those also forget that by the time those initiative industries comes in, the Akwa Ibom people who are staying around that area, their land will actually appreciate. And then most of them, the landlords would actually also rent out the apartment, because like if I want to cite a case, maybe in Ona, for example, there's no way someone who's working in Ona will be able to be going on the road here to Ona almost every day. Most times he could want to rent a place in Ona and then also stay. And then not also forget, by the time he does that, the landlord who rents his house, is also having something, at the end of the year or at the end of the month, as the case may be. Like I said, the people staying around those areas will also feel the impulse of the government, that maybe before now those places were like bushes, nothing really happened there. This is one of the things that really open up the states. This is one of the things that really open up the states. Industries, it really opens up the states. So most of them, not like Akis. Akis is real. Akis is being owned, like I said, by the state government, and then most of those other industries are private partnership initiatives.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Now we want to play the video about let's see what the industry you're talking about. You'll be telling us talking. Let's see to it ourselves. Let's see what is in this video, whether these things are all real, and then we'll be able to decide or make our mind up and say, okay, this is good, true, or this is not true. I don't know. I apologize. My voice today is
layout where you have where is housing the pencil factory. You have here the paper factory, the plastic factory, the toothpick factory, and also have the block and the zinc factory inside of it. Right now, we're going to take you down from the showroom to the factory, and then so I could just want you people to stay on with me and then follow me as we go into the showroom. Now,
inside the showroom of Akis Industries Limited. Now the Akis Industry is located in the Akis Mini Industrial Park here in Afai Town. You can see the industrial park. This is the showroom, and that's the production area. Now the Akis Industrial Park houses the toothpick factory, the pencil factory, the hydroform block factory, the woodwork factory, and the plastic factory. Don Micheal was made the governor, from when he was made the secretary of the state government and later on the governor. What I do normally, I now went to on the internet and I now look at his profile. By the time I run down through his profile, I said, wow, we have this kind of person from Akwa Ibom State. So if such person at that level, Don Micheal is a boardroom guru. For somebody to sit on the board of about 17 international companies, then we should give credit to such people. Come to Akwa Ibom State. Some people tell me, just like what you said, people say, this industry, they are all scam. And I told them, okay, the past regime that I just left, we were promised 31 industries, one in each of the local governments.
You are the one saying it, you are
yes, that we will have an industry in each of the local governments.
Okay.
Now, and I learned, money was voted for that purpose.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, not the match company that produces matches, not even one. But now, Don Micheal came with his promise that he's going to industrialize the state, changing our state from the normal civil service state to an industrialized one, where we can be comparable to Lagos and Kano and Ogun State. And he's doing it. Now, the pencil factory people say is a scam. You are here, you can see. It's not a scam. You go to Abuja, you see our pencil.
What's your name first?
Yes, my name is Anthony Aniefio Akwa.
Okay. And then where are you from?
I am from Nsrubium local government,
Really?
Ward 1.
Working here in Aki's
Yes,
Industrial
I am the Facility Safety and Quality Control Manager of Aki's Industry here in Akwa Ibom State.
Okay.
In as much as people have their mouths to talk, Akwa Ibom State is an industrialized park.
Okay.
Aki's is here to stay, and His Excellency is actually working greatly. Like I said initially, on going to Port Harcourt, a woman, Mrs. Amos, she was a former chairman of contractors to NDDC. Okay. She said she do import this product from China at 2,000 naira for a pack of 100. But do you know how much we sell here? No. At 400 naira. I was with Mr. Shegun of Pack and Shop. He said, how much do you think we can sell this product? I said, we are ready to give it to you at 400 naira.
And are you sure you guys make profit with that?
Of course.
You have is a paint.
Like these are flagship products.
Okay.
The paint 20-liter paint bucket.
Oh wow.
Made in Akwa Ibom.
Virgin material.
This has passed the SUN test because they took them to their lab in Enugu and they did all the first passed the test, and we produced for pickup. Now pickup, the chairman of the board of pickup paints has given an express instruction, and nobody buys a bucket from a bar or anywhere. So now pickup, I will take it away. You see the bucket to produce for them. We're taking about 559. They're coming to pick the remaining one to place order for. The place order for 1,200. So, and the good thing is that all the local manufacturers in Akwa Ibom say they've not seen this kind of paint policy. This is if you see the ones you have in the market, they are from third grade material. But this one is prime material.
People of Akwa Ibom State, Fred from we are here in Aki's Industrial Layout. And I would earlier talk about this product being produced here in Akwa Ibom. And we have a whole lot of people doubting Thomases. Most of them are not from Akwa Ibom State. Most of them, like minor percentage of them are from Akwa Ibom State. I'm doubting what the gentleman the governor is doing. He promised us industrialization, and then today the industrialization is real. You can see these plastics being produced here in Akwa Ibom. You can see all these things are real. Most people say they are scam, and that's the more reason why we are here today in Aki's Plaza, to let you know that these things are not real. These are actually real. And I want you to support His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom, because if he goes back a second term, you have more of this in Akwa Ibom. So these things are real. Look into this camera and tell them Akis is not a scam, that all these things are real. As a worker here, I don't want to say it myself.
From the machine and everything, you can see that Akis is not a scam. So it's a reality. It's a dream come true. So I thank the governor for making it a reality.
Fellow people of Akwa Ibom State and Nigerians at large, I want to tell you that these pencils here are being produced here in Akwa Ibom State. Aki's to pick and pencil industry. This is not a scam, as you can see. This is what I produce. I've been producing this for up to 2 years now since the factory came into existence. It is what we do here. It is not a scam. It is a reality.
What we are seeing here in Akwa Ibom is real. Some people say that it's scam. Even last week Sunday, I went to my church. I was telling the people that are working at this. They were now telling me that leave that scam, it's a scam, all those things. I now brought my ID card to show them that this thing is true. That was when the guy now said that it's not good for what you don't know. So it's real.
Why or what happened? How did you get it? You applied online. Okay. Before you got this job? Okay, before you got this job, were you trained anywhere? No. Okay, you got the training here by an outsider, you training here, a Chinaman training here and then trained you guys.
Power the people economically. Industries. As a prelude to the Industrial Revolution and in a bid to have the requisite manpower for the industries springing up in the state, the governor has approved the training of several youths from the 3 senatorial districts of the state. For instance, 11 youths were trained in Turkey on syringe production.
I went to Turkey, and all this experience is being gathered when I went to Turkey. I was trained on injection, different types of machines. That is why you can see all of us here, we can operate all the machines here.
Isn't a buzzword among leadership gurus. It is a proven technique where leaders give their teams the appropriate training, tools, resources and guidance to succeed, but teaches them how to fish, as could be seen in the many empowerment program of his administration. Indigents of the state involved in one business or the other was passed on by the governor himself, an established financial expert and manager who came into governance with his Dakada mantra to change the mindset of the people to see business as business. The governor's economic empowerment policies formed an integral part of his administration. Wealth creation through industrialization, geared towards increasing the level of participation in the mainstream economy through job creation, employment creation, and enterprise development. The hallmark is that Mr. Emmanuel is working to
Wow. Wow. I mean, it's I'm speechless anyway. I don't know what to say.
The video has really thrilled you, right?
I'm telling you, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. So these things are real. I mean, does it mean that people, there's no enough publicity in Akwa Ibom State? Because if people in Akwa Ibom State keep saying that this thing are not real affect, that means there's no publicity. Does it mean they don't give people maybe like opportunity to go in there and see things themselves? Or they don't run all these things in the state? They don't, no posters, no news, nothing?
My sister, like I earlier said, there's enough publicity in the state to get people to know what His Excellency the Governor is actually doing. And I can as well sit down here to also give kudos to the Commissioner of Information who has done his bit and his best to publicize what His Excellency the Governor is doing, and the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. Is it, like I said, there are some most of the times they say, if it is not Panadol, it can never be Panadol. You know, these Broom community people, they just sit down on their own. What can we do to castigate what the government is doing? Is it all those industries I earlier mentioned to you? If you yourself said you want to come down from UK to Akwa Ibom State to go to those factories, nobody will hold you accountable, or nobody will tell you you shouldn't come or don't go in there. The place is open to everybody to go and make your findings. But you see, most of the times is ignorance of, I don't know how to put it, is ignorance of most of these people. Okay, just for example, how can you see a rice meal processing plant being commissioned by His Excellency the Governor yesterday, and now you're talking about there is no rice plantation in Akwa Ibom State? His Excellency said he's commissioning a rice plantation. Most of these people are just being paid by these Broom community leaders who just go about misleading people. That is their work. But we Akwa Ibomites, Nigeria as a whole, Nigeria has been knowledgeable now. We cannot be moved or we cannot be turned around by this falsehood anymore. Like I earlier said, look at what they promised us via the 2015 election. All the promises they promised us, none has been executed. None. As I'm talking to you now, His Excellency the Governor is one of the governors that is paying salary as at when due. Immediately they took over power, they went into recession. And even when the Nigerian government went into recession, His Excellency the Governor was still paying salaries. Look at the health sector. Okay, if I should take your mind, if I should take you a little bit, you know, shifted from your mind, a little bit shifted from industrialization. Look at the health sector in Akwa Ibom State. You have in good quality that there are some hospitals, general hospitals. Those hospitals, by the time His Excellency took over in 2015, with, as I'm talking to you, those hospitals. For the past 8 years, we had a government in place and nothing was done. But come to think of it, when His Excellency took over power, not only industrialization did he say he's going to do in Akwa Ibom State, he's going to revamp the health sector. He has totally changed things in Akwa Ibom State. You cannot find the general hospital in Ikono the same way you met 4 years ago or 3.5 years ago. You cannot also find the general hospital in Ikono the same way you met it 4 years ago. You cannot also find the general hospital in Etina the same way you met it 4 years ago. These are things His Excellency the Governor has done. He has totally turned around the whole health sector in Akwa Ibom State. You know, he revamped the whole place, now brought it digital equipment, you know, so that right now, you don't even, if your mother or your father is staying is in a tenant and maybe gets healed, you don't have to import him or export him from a tenant to you to come and receive treatment. You just walk into the general hospital there in a tenant, and then, you know, the same way your father could have had it treated in Uyo is the same way he will be treated in a tenant. The same way you could have had it treated you could have had your father treated in abroad will be the same way he will be treated in a tenant local government area. Not also to talk about Itumba, not also to talk about Eket, Emmanuel General Hospital in Eket. You will not find these Broom community people talk about all these things. You will not find them talk about these things. Do you want to talk about the agricultural sector? His Excellency the Governor, like I told you, is a talk and do governor. There is nothing we've come here, anybody in government. You see, sitting down here, I am not talking as one, I wouldn't want to talk as one who has really benefited, from this government. Even if I wasn't even appointed by His Excellency the Governor, and then you invite me to sit down here, I will tell you what I have seen, because I was born. When I was born, I came in to see my father and my mother always telling the truth, and I stand at in the path of truth. So these are the things His Excellency the Governor has done. Now, don't also forget that, like I told you, His Excellency Obong Victor Ta, you know, ruled 8 years in Akwa Ibom State. His Excellency Senator Gosula Akpabio also ruled 8 years in Akwa Ibom State. And have seen what his governor has done in less than 3 years, in less than 3.5 years in Akwa Ibom State. The people of Akwa Ibom State are angry. They even want him to come back the second time, because if he can do this in just 3.5 years, that is to say that Akwa Ibom State will be turned to, I don't know, even in fact Dubai or United States in just 8 years, because industries are just bumping up everywhere in Akwa Ibom State, and these industries are not also initiated in one senatorial district. They are all over, spread all over the entire 3 senatorial districts. Like I said, you know, we have we have Eke senatorial district, Ikore senatorial district, and Uyo senatorial district. So Uyo senatorial district also went 8 years. Ikorekpene Senatorial District also wait 8 years. So it is now the turn of Eket Senatorial District to go 2 years. And His Excellency, oh, 2 terms, I'm talking about 2 terms, of 8 years. So His Excellency, the people of Akwa Ibom State, having seen what His Excellency, the governor, has done, they are telling him, sir, you must have to come back in 2019. And the people are willing. So no matter the propaganda the Broom community people will come up with, no matter insults, but if I could also want to bring it to you, they said like poles attract, unlike poles repel. You cannot insult, castigate a particular office and hope that your father, your brother, or your uncle will also go into that office. It can never happen. So if they themselves, the Broom community people, feels that whosoever they want to come in as the governor of Akwa Ibom State, maybe somewhere they have told such person that he will be the governor of Akwa Ibom State. Did that person at some point in time ask the prophet or ask the pastor or ask the FBI or whatever when he will take over power in Akwa Ibom State? Because Akwa Ibom State people are so much knowledgeable now. They are so much knowledgeable now. They understand what His Excellency the governor
We want
is doing.
another call, so we don't even know.
Hello, come again.
Then we got a call.
Yeah.
Hello?
Okay.
Auntie? Okay, Auntie from Dublin. Debadie.
Yes. That's what I'm so grateful for you, and I'm so grateful for people who like telling the truth. It is true that I'm in but I can guarantee you that Udomoro Yongido was able bido see Yongi Sokon Turo because Mbom do very pronounced, very open. You understand me? So last time we talking about all this pension and all these issues. You see, one thing for people understand how that Akwa Ibom for Pitero, it was then a lot of people in the world. Aba Monsiri Manyin, Awi Manyin, Swanyin passionately. Near see Namo, but you want to encode your Aba Iton word ago, Afu Manyin and Pork and a more, Abia more, instead of more in a message careful. Ayayara Moiset. Afu Beforo, Ayayari Ton wasted. Afu Besagi Mam, Ayayari Son wasted. Afu Be Anyan Mpo, Abia Iton. So this is the situation. You know, men again the message say word or tang. I want the proof of video. All these publications have been done. Many some of the videos, no one's in them. Mewo Emadi criticize a lot. Monsi, that is why last time get tangible. Most of these people go criticize governor or criticize the state or government or Monsi we try for not quite tomorrow. You don't get more and try to believe me. Aba Monse Edo Ibridi okay Esri song you don't a village Monteto. They don't know. No, we have to be realistic. This is not the time for us to give them room to speak nonsense anymore. This is the time for us to know that you understand me? In future. Imike ima na mo kesien bon bong AI su ye me di on then take to e me di nke establish or ye me di nke grow or invest. So anything am I concerned Akwa Ibom. Afoya krebo ke monsido real Akwa Ibomites. You know, people in yene mfra the way na others in yene mfra. I would akim former Kenyan as what tangabo oh inama akenam tum akenam tugu. Ida goes with a bag, you okay, baga. I wrote a transformer. I transform in one. Imagine there were still people who were against him. Like Zenanam no one fell away. I've heard all those talk. You understand me? So a year you want an industrialization duty may want tomorrow, and let me tell you, people will not stop talking because even for Namam, this program for Namami, I'm in a mess in let me just let you know.
Abio.
So if he cause them me way down, and you will see Ken. I'm you down it on for you want say more because if I say more the stranger, the enemy of progress. Because to the Rimboro they will never see any positive thing and speak the truth about it. You understand me? So we don't try. Even most of those things, in this the other day he was explaining how for ages, decades, about bridge and more cross. I have not been there before. My parents must have been there, but they were explaining that the bridge, I want to cross from there and another area. I'm very hard, and it has been there for decades. But they were praising Udom that take Udoma Kedidi, Udoma di Kina Musumoro, Kida Musumoro free. Mewe Walefro, and you bridge across. There's another place again, Corona. Corona, you went to confirm. And the Gusumoro, he gives a game can't take life seriously. But he has done it. The people in the inner villages they testify to this thing. Why is it hard for people to believe? If they doubt it, they should go there. They should go there. There was one of my brother I get to UK. I travel. Look, he went there to see. He even went to the health sectors. He traveled around and see things for himself. You understand me? He wasn't a doubting Thomas, but he just wanted to see it for himself. So all those people who get doubt, though, they will not stop doubting because that is their way to doubt. Udom is going for second term. Look, everything now is turned to political issues. I need politics get Nigeria. In fact, they should stop all this because it doesn't want anything fighting. What are we fighting for? I always say, is that what we want? Or one-on-one of each other, or the peace. After all, is why the bang 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 if I'm ready, I won't let other you support and all those things. This is how life should go. For me, I don't see any reason why may we get here so once so the truth will speak for them. The truth will speak for people who are working. Minister of Education also explained himself herself the other day. And the Minister of Works and Industry also sat down there and speak. So why can't people just let the state be? You understand me? So all these things, my dear, they are true. They are true. And I believe it in myself that they are true. If they doubt it, they should travel down and see. And stop talking or causing confusion. Who can hear about them devil? Manatoro, I cause between the Akwa Ibom people. I'm also going to one with each other, whereas no need. So make come a war now I shoot video. I hope by then, by now, people should be able to know the truth about everything. Yeah. So thanks for giving me opportunity.
Oh, Auntie, thank you very much, Auntie. Thank
All
you.
right. My sister, if I should want to join my voice with what the lady has just said. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, like he just talked about the road. He just talked about the road that was abandoned for a lot of years, and His Excellency the Governor just came to do it. He said, I am a true testimony to the fact that Ntuyo and Uyo Mintu I'm from the real origination of Uyo, which is from Nouyo. I am from Nouyo in Uyo village. Now, if you've had anybody who lives along Barracks Road, that person will be able to tell you that there was a street called Sultan Street, and there was a street called Basi Atta Street, Efiongopan Street, and Mbiabong Street. All those streets were situated at Barracks Road, very close to the government house. And can I tell you that for so many years, the last administration came and gone, 8 years, and nothing was done about that road. The upper one came and gone, nothing was done about that road. Yet that road is very close to the government house. But can I tell you that His Excellency the Governor walked on that road? If you should enter that road, it's just like the people of those roads, if the people living on in that road right now are believing, in fact, right now they know that they are in town. But that was a road that was abandoned so many years ago when we had government that collected so much money but could not do a road like that is close to house, that is close to government house. But they drive in and out of that road every day. The people working in government house are mostly living in that area, but nothing was done in the past 8 years about that road. These are the things we are talking about. And then also have it that ever since His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State came on board in 2015, Akwa Ibom people have enjoyed peace in this state. We've enjoyed relative peace in this state. Even where there is a son of a peace is there you have peace. If I put it well, you know. Now you added that, like I said, we've had relative peace in Akwa Ibom State. Not of you. Someone pronounced war will happen in Akwa Ibom State. And from then you start seeing this Warsaw of a thing. If a quick one, if I should want to even narrate a little to you, you know, the example of the Warsaw they are talking about in Akwa Ibom State. How can you decamp from a party there is no crisis, there is no problem at all, and the Constitution clearly stated that you can only become cross-carpet from a party that brings you to power once there is crisis, anarchy in that party. And there was no anarchy in PDP, and there was no crisis in PDP, and you decamp from the party that brought you to be. And having decamped from the party, you took yourself and took the Speaker of Akwa Ibom State to court. And the same court you took yourself and took the Speaker of Akwa Ibom State to court, that same court went and then came up with a judgment and told you that you had no reason even staying in. You had no reason staying 1 second in Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly because you took yourself, you cross-carpet when there was no crisis in PDP. And the court ordered the Speaker of Akwa Ibom State to immediately declare your seat vacant. And which the Speaker of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly obeyed the court order. And having obeyed the court order, they had to go over to our House of Assembly to cause anarchy, to cause crisis by stopping the Speaker and the members of the House of Assembly from performing their legislative functions and pursuing all the workers of the House of Assembly away from the House of Assembly. And they were supported by the Nigerian police. This is the kind of thing these people are trying to bring into Akwa Ibom State, so that by the time they do this, Akwa Ibom State will be, Akwa Ibom State, they will call for a state of emergency in Akwa Ibom State. And this is what the people of Akwa Ibom State stands to reject. We've enjoyed peace. Since 2015, there has not been any kidnapping in these states. There have not been any assassination in this state, or whatever. But these people came on board and they are trying to take us to Egypt where we were before. And we are standing to reject it. We reject it in totality.
Hello?
Okay. I think we have a caller on the line. Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening. What is your name and where are you calling from?
What is my name? I'm calling from Germany. I'm listening to the program on Facebook.
Okay, Umoite calling from Germany. Okay. Do
yeah,
you
have
Irioko?
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have a question for our guest today, or you just want to continue?
Question, welcome, I'm hearing you, sir.
Yeah. I should put it across.
Yes, please.
Yeah, put it across. I'm hearing you, but speak up a little bit.
So, thank you very much for everything. So my contribution is that though I'm not interested in the politics, but since it's concerning Akwa Ibom, I have a say. Everything as they did is that Jack Udom continue where he stopped since he have started. Every other governor have been there for 4 years, 8 years. So since he has come on board, let him continue and see where it will end. Because the situation of just running in halfway is not the normal thing. So some of the things, Yanama, let him continue. And let's see, because as we are here on this side now, we see how the Akwa Ibom people, some of the people are less privileged are suffering. At least, if they can just do something and forget about sharing the money and just do just something that local people can see, access roads and have electricity, not only in Uyo, but in other parts, because it's not only Uyo, it's Akwa Ibom. There are other parts that are totally neglected. So I would suggest that the Udom should also move out of only the Uyo and move out of the other part of the Akwa Ibom, because it's not only Uyo, it's the Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom is larger than Uyo. And some of the infrastructure that is said is doing a good job in Uyo, okay, it's fine. Uyo is beautiful, but it's not Akwa Ibom that they have, or we're supposed to have another sense of thinking that we use the time we have the opportunity to develop every nook and corner of the Akwa Ibom, irrespective of wherever it is. So I don't like a situation of saying you are from Eket, you are from Uyo, you are from Etina. Let them forget about all those things. It have never bring any progress. The progress is let them continue and do what they know that is good. But let him go out of Uyo because other parts are still neglected. That is what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ma? I mean, to Nkek is being a place who have folded all the PDPs into the government. But Nkek is completely neglected. There's no road, there's no infrastructure, there's nothing. Nothing. You cannot pass from Etuekpo to Epalakwa or Etuekpo to Ikok or Angojo, which was a major main road that was today is only a death trap. So we don't only sit down in Akwa Ibom. What happened to this road? As he sent somebody to see, is that road not in Akwa Ibom? There is no road, nothing.
Well, come again with the road name. Come again with the road name.
Because it's a water lock. Talk less of bringing your car in there. And this is in Akwa Ibom.
Okay, you know what? After the program, please, I would like to talk with you, okay? So that I can get more details from you. So maybe probably the area you were talking about. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
Can I react to his question?
Okay, that's fine. You can react to his question. Thank you so much for calling. All right.
Please, can I respond to his question?
Of course, now. Today
Okay,
is your day.
I really commend him, because these are the kind of people these are the kind of people Akwa Ibom State is being known for. We are being known for truth, and truth we always stand for it. You see, these other people we are talking about here now that are saying they are coming to take over Akwa Ibom State. In fact, right now, you guys are not even hearing what they are saying. In fact, the Broom community are even pronouncing his people, his persons, or like a governor of Akwa Ibom State.
Do we have Broom community in Akwa Ibom State?
I don't want to promote any name, any opposition name in this program.
I'm just asking. Maybe we have a factory that produces broom in Akwa Ibom State. So that's why I just
you see, the former governor of Akwa Ibom State, let me even say to you that the former governor of Akwa Ibom State actually said that, people who are carrying brooms are slaves. They are servitudes, and they are servants. That is what the Broom community people are being known for. You know, so I don't know. I don't know. So that is what I know them to be. You know, but that is why I don't want to promote. So that is why I don't want to promote any name. Well, you know, for all I care, you know, they call them whatever, whatever. I know that, you know, it's only inspired drugs who answer such names. You know, so I don't want to promote them on this program. So, but I want to tell you that you see, these people, like what these people are saying right now in Akwa Ibom State, that they have already taken over Akwa Ibom State and all those things. And you see, like I told you, the governor is a very pragmatic human being, and then he's a very focused person. He's this governor that he goes along in doing whatever he wants to do and whatever he feels is okay for the people of Akwa Ibom State. If I can bring it to bear, if I can bring it to tell you in this program that one of the problems they do have with Governor Dom Gabriel Emmanuel is that he's scattering projects all over the states. He's not sharing the money. You know, they feel the governor should share the money to them, share the money to this other person, share the money to this other person, you know, and not doing anything and not putting down anything on ground. But His Excellency is a God-fearing person. He's a God-fearing man. And then, like I told you, he's a peacemaker. If I can tell you that, do you know when and where I conceived about Project Tracker? I conceived Project Tracker when His Excellency organized a prayer session with all of his workers, his aide, the commissioners. Every first of every month, we do have prayer session with His Excellency the Governor. First of every month and 31st night of every month, we do have prayer session with His Excellency the Governor. That is the kind of governor we are talking about. That is the kind of governor that prays every day and every time for direction on how and where to situate projects in Akwa Ibom State. And God directs him every day. Like if I could also say, that is why I actually asked the last caller that he should bring, you know, he should let us know the names of the road, the names of the road and where is it situated, so that we'll also put this question forward to Honorable Commissioner for Works. And let me also tell you this. The governor is being surrounded by pragmatic men. The governor is actually being surrounded by men of integrity. Men who interpret His Excellency dreams well. There are men who interpret the vision of His Excellency, the Governor, such as the Honorable Commissioner for Works, or Mr. Ephraim Iyariyen, and also Mr. Elder Ufodebo. You know, most of, like, it's not as if other commissioners are not doing well, but I'm just bringing these people to you. The commissioners His Excellency has, and all the aides His Excellency has, all the board members, these are true people who have the people of Akwa Ibom State at heart. Now, if I should ask you, the people that are talking about taking over power in 2019, they want to take over power in 2019, do they have the people of Akwa Ibom State at heart? They are only saying all these things for selfish and their own interests. They are not having the interest of Akwa Ibom State people at heart. Because if they should have the interest of Akwa Ibom people at heart, they will see that His Excellency just commissioned a rice processing mill. All what they could want to do is to get into farming. By the time you get into farming, you will be a multi-millionaire by next year. That is why when His Excellency the Governor came in, he was talking and preaching about Dakada philosophy. And I am telling you that a whole lot of Akwa Ibomites are embracing the Dakar philosophy of His Excellency the Governor. And I could shock you that a little girl, when His Excellency the Governor came on board and we're talking about the Dakar philosophy of the Governor, standing up, getting into business, getting your hands into doing things, the young girl went into producing custard. The custard that is being most of the times imported or whatever, a young girl went into producing custard. As I'm talking to you now, he went to Port Harcourt to fabricate those machines that she could use in producing these custards in a larger quantity, and she is making money. Right now in Akwa Ibom State, you have a showroom that all the things that are being made in Akwa Ibom State is being showcased in that showroom, and people are patronizing these people. Why can't the grown community people get their hands into doing something, get their hands into promoting Akwa Ibom people, Akwa Ibom State, what Akwa Ibom State can do than spoiling us everywhere? But I can tell you that His Excellency the Governor is a very focused man. He's focused in all these dealings. Like I told you, he has people surrounding him who are interpreting his vision. So if there's a road, if there is time, if we still have time, I can tell you that, and I can even read down, I can even go through all the roads. Most of the roads I do supervise, not all. And I can tell you that His Excellency the Governor has constructed 1,700 kilometers of road across the 3 senatorial districts in Akwa Ibom State, with 40 bridges across the state. So if there's a road in your community or there's a road in your locality which has not been touched by His Excellency the Governor, that is why you have to vote him. You have to instruct your family people, your relatives who are staying here in Akwa Ibom State, who are staying all over the state. That is why you have to instruct them to vote His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State back to power in 2019 for him to continue in all this good work.
Let me ask you one thing.
And I am telling
You just said something now. You say that, oh, we should tell the people, we should instruct them. Instruct who? Because most of us, I mean, most of the complaints some people are having here in abroad is that they don't, the Akwa Ibom people, Akwa Ibom state government, or the, I don't know, whatever. I don't want to mention name. They don't regard people that are Akwa Ibom living in diaspora as anything. Now you are saying that we should instruct. How can we instruct our own people when we are not even being recognized? It's not possible.
No, see. Let me tell you, my sister. Let me tell you something. If there is anybody, who values and recognizes Akwa Ibomite in diaspora, is Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel.
Well, if that's
and I
the
can
case,
tell you that in a very
how
good
come he
authority.
never attended any occasion, any event that invited him? How come he never attended any? If that's the case, how come he never attended any?
I know that the governor of Akwa Ibom State is a very lovable man who's being loved across the globe by the people of Akwa Ibom State, Akwa Ibomite, and outside Akwa Ibom State. See, I know that also the people of Akwa Ibomite, the Akwa Ibomites in diaspora, could want to have His Excellency the Governor himself in diaspora. But I can tell you from a good point of view that in no distant time, I know he has been sending, most times he has been sending representatives to those programs, those representative to those programs, there.
You said something a few minutes
and I am
ago.
telling
Sorry to
you
cut you
this.
short. You say if not the real thing is never. They always, or if they always say as well, if no be Panadol, no fit be like Panadol. Sending somebody, it doesn't make no sense.
That is why I'm saying. That is why I am saying that
him.
I know His Excellency.
If he cannot go once, at least would have gone the second time, the third time, because I received so many complaints about this same issue I'm talking about now. People say, oh no, he doesn't regard this. He's a governor of the executive people. He's a governor of the rich. He wants to associate himself with people that are in the top level. He doesn't want to have nothing to do with people down there. These things like this, I mean, people know things like this in their mind. Even when they see that he's doing good, they will say he's not doing good.
My sister,
If you want to be a governor, you have to be the governor of the people of Akwa Ibom State, not only being the governor of the office of Akwa Ibom State.
My sister, like I told you, I quite understand the point where you're coming from. Like I earlier told you, the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udom Gabriel Emmanuel, is a man of his own words, and he's a man that is being loved globally. He's not a man that is only being loved by Akwa Ibom people or a sectional part of the world or whatever. Before now, you understand he has been on the global banking sector, working with almost banks in the world, I know the people of Akwa Ibom might in diaspora would want to have His Excellency the Governor, come down here and then
Sorry,
meet
I
with
think we
them,
got
either in
another
one
call
program.
because our time will soon run out. Let's pick this last call. Hello?
Yeah. Could that be with me?
Yes. What is your name, please?
Okay. Yeah, Omote is the name. I wanted to correct that guy who is talking right there.
Oh, you call.
Yeah.
And you say you want to correct what?
Some of the impression that is making there, and more so, it is also variable that we here in diaspora, we need to keep ourselves that they definitely have to, whether the governor recognize our presence or
I think. Anyway. Mr. Guest, please, can you go ahead? Because you got just 3 minutes to
Okay.
round up.
Okay. Like I said, His Excellency the Governor is being loved globally, and then, like I said, in no distant time, I think His Excellency the Governor will be with the people of the diaspora. He loves the people of the Akwa Ibomites in diaspora so much. I'm telling you this from a point of truth, and then he cannot in any way do up with you guys out there. And then the only thing is that I'm still sitting down here requesting that Akwa Ibomites, Akwa Ibom State, and Akwa Ibom people in diaspora, to tell you that Akwa Ibom State is a very peaceful place, and I know that most of us could know one or two investors who could come into Akwa Ibom to invest. You should not restrict that. His Excellency welcome every investors and anybody who has any useful contribution to his administration. He welcomes everybody. I said, Excellency has done so much for the people of Akwa Ibom State in just 3.5 years. And the people of Akwa Ibom State are eager to vote him back to power. When I talked about the people in diaspora maybe instructing or whatever, instructing their fellow families here in Akwa Ibom State to vote His Excellency back to power, I wasn't saying that in a way looking down on the people of diaspora or whatever. No, I cannot do that, and I don't have any authority to do that. The only thing is that the people here in Akwa Ibom State, they've really seen what His Excellency has done, what the governor has done. Like I told you, he has cut across all the sectors which he actually promised Akwa Ibom State: the health sector, the infrastructure, the transportation, the power sector. Right now we have power. The way His Excellency made power in 2015 is not the same way right now. He has come up with so many. He has come up with so many constructions of substations. I mean, in health sector, in agriculture, in manpower. Like I told you, he does not owe salaries in Akwa Ibom State. He has done so much. He has done so much. And I want to say here that in a good authority that His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State will certainly return to power come 2019. And we need your support. We need the support of the diaspora. We need the support of the people of Akwa Ibom in diaspora. We need the support of the people here in Akwa Ibom State. If you enjoyed peace in the past 3.5 years, why don't you vote this man back to take over, to complete what he has done? Like somebody mentioned that His Excellency the Governor has done well, that he will really want him to go back in 2019. And that is the case here in Akwa Ibom State. We want His Excellency to come back. It's not about my own case. It's not about me still being in government or not being in government. But the only thing I could want is that if those industries His Excellency the Governor has brought into Akwa Ibom State, if it does not affect you directly, it will definitely affect your cousin. It will definitely affect your relative. It will definitely affect your friend somehow, some way, somehow. So this is one government we must join hand to build. And this is one government we must support. And this is one man that stands by the truth. And he is a God-fearing man. And he would never, His Excellency, the governor, would never deviate from what God wanted him to do in Akwa Ibom State. And after his 8 years in government, and after his 8 years here in Akwa Ibom State, the people of Akwa Ibom State will actually thank God that he has brought that God actually brought someone like Iknudom Gabriel Emmanuel, to govern them. That is why, as a person and as an aide to the governor, I didn't even sit down. I didn't sit down and said, okay, maybe receiving my salary only or whatever. That is why I have gone out of my way to have.
I was about to ask
maybe
you, how much millions do you have, or state government is giving to you? Because I can see all those videos, you go into factories, industry, blah blah, all those ones there. So how much do you do normal account? Do you give account to how much you spend, or do you just spend the money?
My sister, let me let you understand. Let me
just
let you
calling a wrong
understand something.
time because we almost finishing. I just wanted to give the last, allowed my guests to say the last advice or just to
Can you hear
round up.
me?
But before, yeah, I can hear it. But before you go, I want us to run the promo again. And before I allow you to, I will just give you just less than a minute. If not, I'm gonna send invoice to you. Let just run the Okay, and then
like I said, service is in the blood. Like His Excellency the governor came, he said he wants to be a servant. He wants to be a servant governor. He wants to serve with all his ability, all his might. He has been saving, and that is why we've been able to see all these things in Akwa Ibom State. Like I said, I don't need to collect money from the governor, a good sum of money, before I can do what I have to do. By the time I was being appointed by His Excellency the governor as an aide to His Excellency, I owe His Excellency a duty, and I also owe the people of Akwa Ibom State a duty to do my job, to discharge my duty with all my ability, without no fear or favor. That is what I am doing. That is why I go out of my way to most of these industries. Most of the times, personally, I go out personally to supervise what they are doing. And also, by the time I now supervise them, I will now bring it to the public, for the public to know that these things are real. What the governor is doing is real. I don't wait for any money. I am speaking on a good authority that there is no commissioner or there is nobody in politics in Akwa Ibom State that can say that I, Michael James, have been coming to his house begging for money in one way or the other. No. And we are not known for that. I'm trying to tell you that we are not known for that. By the time you're being appointed as an aide to the governor, you are there to discharge your duty, and you discharge your duty without no fear or favor. And that is why we've been able to do. That is why I've been able to come up with, what I told you, Project Tracker. And Tracker, if I should come up with a explanation again, is tracking down every project, program, and achievement of the current and of the present administration of His Excellency the Governor.
Okay, thank you very
much. And we bring that to your doorstep.
Mr. James, because we are running out of time now. I'm just been giving signal, so I didn't even know I got carried away. So thank you very much for coming on the program, and I wish we'll see you again very soon with more project tracker. Thank you for the video. Well, it changed my mind. I believe a lot of people are watching today. They saw the video. I think they have another. I think they have another mind as well, just like me. And I want to say thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much. And I want to really thank you for always inviting me. I'm always ready to come on the program anytime, any day. And I want to promise the people of Akwa Ibom State, in diaspora, in Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria, and the world at large, that next time I am coming on the program, you will have a robust, video than what you are having now. Because from maybe from tomorrow or next, we're going to go into we're going to go into, right now we've been on a fact-finding tour. So the fact-finding tour is going to start up again by tomorrow, Monday. So by next time I am coming on the program, you will have much robust video than what you have here. Thank you so much for bringing me, and I want to thank the people of Akwa Ibom State here in Akwa Ibom, Nigeria, and the world at large, the Akwa Ibomites in diaspora. Thank you for always supporting His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. Thank you for always being there for His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. And I want to assure you that His Excellency of Akwa Ibom, His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, will never disappoint you after his 8 years of reigning as a governor in Akwa Ibom State.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we say that that was our guest, Mr. Michael James, SAT Governor on Project Supervision. He has been here with us talking about the project he has supervised since he became the SAT Governor. And then, well, I learned a lot from there, and I believe you learned a lot from there as well. So it's up to you now, it's up to me now, what I think and what do you think. I just want to say thank you everybody for watching this program. Thank you for joining me. If you are joining me for the first time, please send me a friend request, or you can send me a private message so that if I don't get back to you now, but in the next 1 or 2 hours, I will get back to you. And send me, also follow us on our Facebook, and then subscribe to our YouTube channel so that when we are on, then you'll be able to get notification that the program is on. And then I want to say thank you so much for everybody today. Thank you so much. And next Sunday is another day. We will have another very interesting person here on the program. He's still going to talk about what is happening in Akwa Ibom, because now it's about Akwa Ibom we are talking about now, our state, our home, our mother's land. That's what we're talking about, what is going on. So I just want to thank you everybody, and then God bless. See you next Sunday.